Could Arsenal be targeting the move for Mohammed Kudus this summer? Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you do not want to miss daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe down below. I'm road to 4,000 subscribers, and importantly, hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. And let me know in the comment section your thoughts on Kudus' potential move to Arsenal. Let's not waste any more time and get straight into the tweet brought today by Eduardo Hagen stating this. Breaking news, Arsenal eyeing a move for Mohammed Kudus, but they need to sell players first, as reported by Sammy Mokbel 81. And this is an interesting one, right? Because we know Arsenal had an interest in Kudus in the past. This was actually mentioned by David Ornstein when he said that Kudus doesn't expect to sign a contract extension with Ajax. He wants to leave, and Arsenal are interested alongside other clubs like Liverpool, Man United. But we haven't really pursued it. If anything, it's been on the back burner. But now, according to Sammy, it's something that Arsenal could look to pursue again. And we know ever since Arsenal signed Declan Rice, it's been quiet. We made our three signings: Havertz, Rice, Timber. Brilliant. Spent over 200 million. Who's next? Every Arsenal fan was asking, who's next? No one knows. It's quiet. Yeah, there's murmurs about Tchouaméni, about Caicedo, about maybe a right-wing Arsenal targeting, but nothing really concrete. If anything, to be honest, I think this talk about Mohammed Kudus that came out today is probably the most concrete thing we've heard. And me saying that, I genuinely don't believe Kudus is someone Arsenal are going to go on to sign. Just because, in my opinion, I don't know if it really fits Arsenal. And that's me saying that who's a massive fan of Kudus. I'm going to be completely honest. Last year, I didn't really know who Kudus was, to be honest. Obviously, he made his move to Ajax. Hadn't really enjoyed his time there. I do believe he's playing in more a centre-forward position, whereas he prefers a box-to-box role. Where he really caught my eye was during the World Cup. He was absolutely fantastic. He was playing a box-to-box role, contributing up and down the pitch, and really looked like a player that had made that position his own. And I was sitting there going, why aren't Ajax playing him in this position? He looks like an absolute monster here. And it seems as though he wants to get the move away from Ajax, wants more game time. Is Arsenal the right place for that, though? I understand he's going to be a brilliant player. I understand he's young, got so much potential. But when I look at it from my standpoint, we brought in Declan Rice, who for me is an absolutely fantastic signing. No doubt about it whatsoever. Unbelievable purchase. But I see Declan Rice in that box-to-box role personally. Guys might disagree. Arteta might disagree. And of course, Arteta knows best. But in my personal opinion, I like Rice in that box-to-box role. I see Rice as a direct Xhaka replacement in my eyes. Look, if Xhaka can be taught to play that box-to-box role, it'll be a piece of cake for Declan Rice. I mean, you're talking about someone that's got the stamina to run up and down the pitch tirelessly, can contribute defensively and going forward, is a unit, athletic, dominates the game, can run forward, his long strides with the football at his feet, unbelievable at times. And for me, if I look at a midfield three, right, if we do bring in someone like Mohammed Kudus, our midfield three would be Rice, Kudus and Ødegaard. Does that work in my opinion? I don't think it does. It's just like Rice, Havertz and Ødegaard. I don't think that midfield three really works either in my opinion. It's too unbalanced. That's why me personally, I'd rather see us sell players and have a midfield three of Caicedo or Tchouaméni alongside Rice and Ødegaard. That midfield three would be feared by anyone because that's got balance to it. It's got the defense midfield in Caicedo or Tchouaméni who will contribute defensively. It's got Rice who will be half defensive, half going forward. Then it's got Ødegaard who will do his thing going forward in that number 8 position. It's absolutely fantastic, that midfield in my opinion. But then if you look at Ødegaard, Havertz and Rice, you're looking at it from an extent where Rice is doing all of the legwork, Rice is doing all the running around, and he's getting pulled in and out of position. Suddenly you've got Ødegaard having to come back and defend, or Havertz having to come back and defend. And I'd rather see Havertz come back and defend, but we know Havertz is better going forward in his play style. He's not a defensive player, but Ødegaard's a better forward player than Havertz in my opinion. I'd rather see Ødegaard get on the football and make things happen. So I'm looking at it from a balance standpoint, it doesn't really make sense. Now, if Arsenal didn't sign Havertz, then Mohammed Kudus would make absolute sense. It'd be perfect. He's basically like for like with Havertz. A player that's been playing centre forward under Ajax, just like Havertz at Chelsea, but is probably better in a box-to-box or attacking midfield role. Perfect. It makes complete sense. That's what Arteta looks to be doing with Havertz. Been playing attacker for Chelsea, not really his position, not really a goal scorer. At Leverkusen where he did his most damage, he was playing more in an attacking midfield position and deeper in the football pitch. Arteta probably looks to implement that at Arsenal. Since we signed Havertz, the Kudus signing looks a little bit redundant in my opinion. That's just my personal thoughts on it. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear it. So if I look at it from that standpoint, right, if it's not Kudus, who is it? Well, Arsenal do need to make signings. Let's not make any mistake about it. Arteta came out in a press conference. They asked him, they said, who's next? And Arteta, he kept his cards close to his chest, as you'd expect him to do so, and said, look, there's a lot of time left in this window. And he's 100% right. There's a month and a half left. Arsenal got plenty, ample time to make any changes they need to. But he also said exits going to happen as well. And he's 100% right in that, because we need to sell to buy. Speed is the name of the game. We've spent over 200 million so far this window. Our cash flow is non-existent. It's gone. Liquidity is done for. Meaning, if we want to sign players, our first port of calls, we have to sell first. That's just the be all and end all. There's no two ways about it. And the way I look at it from that standpoint is, Edu has to get on the phone now and start selling these players. Because there are players that can be sold at Arsenal. Everyone complained about our squad and saying we didn't have the squad to compete with Man City. That's true. It's not we didn't have the squad. The numbers were there. It was the quality of the numbers that wasn't there. We had ample players. We had plenty in reserves. They just weren't good enough. Holding, not good enough to be in a team. That's the reason we lost. Players like that, most of them ended up going out on loan. Look, for me, this is my policy when it comes to loan, right? Loan as many young players as you want, 100%. Patino, Balogun, let them go out on loan. Let them get their game up. Give them game time, perfect. Why loan out Pepe? Why loan out Cedric Suarez? They're not going to get any development. You might as well sell them. Yes, there might not be any sellers on the market, but even if it's 2-3 million, that's something. Besiktas wanted to hold it for 2.5 million. Why are we negotiating? You might say it's a low ball offer. To be honest, I don't care. I'd rather just see him off the wage book, if I'm being completely honest. And 2.5 million, why are we arguing over 5 million? Like, that's 2 million in excess. It's negligible in the bigger picture. Let's be real about it. You'll save that much in wages if you keep him around the football club. Do you get what I mean? So, Arsenal need to be smart just selling these players. And I understand people got affinity to certain players. Like, I think all Arsenal fans can agree that we want Holding to go, Cedric to go, Nicolas Pepe to go. Arsenal fans agree on that. But there's certain other players Arsenal fans don't want to see go. Kieran Tierney, Balogun, Partey. Arsenal fans have got an affinity to players like this, and I understand it. But we have to be ruthless. We're in championship mode, guys. We're not in rebuild mode anymore. Every single player in this team has to either be a young development player, like an Ethan Nwaneri, or has to directly contribute to us winning the Premier League or Champions League. And when I say directly contribute, I mean they have to be on standby. Not necessarily start, but if they're called upon at any point, they should be ready to slot into that team seamlessly and contribute. Just like Trossard, just like Timber. Coming off the bench to make an impact and make things happen. That's what we need to see happen with this Arsenal team. And certain players won't do that, so they need to go. I mentioned Kieran Tierney, Balogun and Partey, right? 3 players that a lot of Arsenal fans don't want to see Arsenal sell. Okay, well, you could get 100 million from those 3 players. I'm right in saying that. From those 3 players, you can get at least 100 million. Now, if I told Arsenal fans, right, that you can sell Balogun, Tierney and Partey and we'll use that money to sign Caicedo, 90% of Arsenal fans would do that. 90% at least, 99 I want to say. I'd definitely do that. Because Kieran Tierney, you might love him. The Donny played barely any minutes last season. Let's be real about it. Was Kieran Tierney the real reason we won a title race? No. Let's be completely honest about it. Balogun wasn't even here last season. Partey, fair enough. He played a big part last season. But even then, the guy's not getting any younger. He can't stay fit for 38 games. And he'd held off towards the back end of last season. Jorginho was playing ahead of him. Do you get what I mean? And Caicedo's a much better player than him. So what you've effectively done is you've got rid of 3 decent fringe players, but didn't really contribute much last season, apart from Partey, and you brought in a world-class defensive midfielder. That's the right move, in my opinion. 100% the right move. Same if we bought Tchouaméni instead. So you have to be ruthless. Obviously, don't sell those 3 players and bring no one in as a replacement. But if you need to sell these players to bring the top dog, so be it. I'll take that. It's like sacrificing your rook to get the queen in chess. You got to sometimes lose in the short term to win in the long term. Arsenal for me has got 4 elite players, and I mentioned this before in previous videos. Saka, Ødegaard, Rice and Saliba. Elite, elite, elite. When I say elite, I mean world class. For example, Harry Kane. No one debates if Harry Kane is world class. No one sits there and goes, is Harry Kane actually world class though? Everyone understands that man is world class. I want that at Arsenal. I want 5 world class players. Like I said, we've got 4 right now in my opinion. Saliba, Rice, Ødegaard and Saka. I want 1 more. Ideally, it'd be either a striker or a defense midfielder. Because I do believe to win the league, you need a world-class striker. We don't have that right now. But if we bring a world-class defense midfielder in a Caicedo or Tchouaméni, that goes a long, long way in helping us to win the Premier League or Champions League next season. That's just my thoughts on it. But the story today has also been linked to Mohammed Kudus. I'm not sure how realistic this transfer potentially is for Arsenal. I think it's just paper talk at this stage. I personally don't mind Kudus as a player, but I don't think he'd be the right addition for Arsenal. That's just my personal opinion on it. Nothing against the player whatsoever. I think he's a brilliant talent. But since we brought in Havertz, doesn't really make sense for me in that sense. I'd rather see Arsenal bring in a defense midfielder or a striker / right winger. That would just be my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'd absolutely love to hear it. Drop a like down below so this video gets out to more people in the algorithm. And if you're new around here, don't forget, you need to subscribe down below on my road to 4,000 subscribers so you do not miss Arsenal transfer news daily. Since you're clicking on this video, I'm guessing that's exactly the type of content you want to see. And importantly as well, because a lot of people forget this, hit the notification button up top so you don't miss any future videos on this channel. I've been White Boy. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Take care.